Hello, welcome to the Power Selling Podcast. I'm your host, Danna Crawford, the Power Selling Mom, and we're going to get started right away because I've got a very special guest that I just enjoyed learning from and talking to, and she has a lot to share. So let's get started.
Sure. So my name is Nisha Drinkard, and I started reselling part-time when I was a faculty member teaching textile studio art many years ago. I think I applied to resell on eBay like 2003. And I used my husband's account, and it was his idea. He said, we have all this stuff from grandparents and from parents, and so why not sell it online? And then it kind of came in handy because I was downsized at the beginning of the Great Recession, and I tried to become a K through 12 teacher, but that didn't quite work out. There was a lot of people already in the art field, and I ended up adjuncting at another university teaching textiles, and I supplemented my income selling on eBay. So it's kind of been fun in a way because eBay really can move whatever direction you want it to go.
Good point.
Yeah.
You can go any direction you want, whether you're hobby or full-time, or there's a lot of opportunity there. So I know that you do a lot of jewelry. So tell me about your jewelry meetups on Listing Party.
Oh, sure. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole bunch of people who love jewelry. We get together, and I usually have some type of topic to go over, and then we'll have questions and answers afterward. And there's a knowledge base among all the people in there. Everybody has a different knowledge that they have, and we focus on jewelry. And so like this past week, we talked about Egyptian revival jewelry. Which is a lot of fun. And I talked about scarab jewelry. So if you haven't done anything with selling scarabs or scarab design jewelry, I would look it up because I didn't know about it. And I found some that were actual bugs.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, I live in Florida and we have palmetto bugs, and there was actually one this morning, and I told Becca, get that, we'll make a necklace out of it because of attending your listing party. So thanks for sharing all that. It was great information.
Yeah, it's fun because it's like everybody brings their own knowledge with them, and then they share it with the group. So
yeah, I know your listing party the week before was about clasps on necklaces, and I found that so fascinating, and the backs of pins, and you taught us things that I never thought about. And now I'm going to be looking for, when I'm outsourcing, I'm going to be looking at more into the display case at Goodwill because of that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Because I've been there where I used to walk by those display cases, and then I found a visual language that helped me identify things that I could resell. And you just keep adding to that knowledge bank every time you sell something. Yeah.
That's good. So you're like self-taught, and you enjoyed the education as you went along.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So you mentioned that you were selling all of your stuff. Is that how you got into reselling?
Yes. We just had so much stuff, and I think my husband had a great idea. He was like, let's get rid of all this extra stuff in the house. And I got rid of it. And then I've always had this lifelong hobby of going to garage sales ever since I was a little kid. And I realized that going to garage sales, I could buy stuff and then flip it online. And so I started bringing a lot of stuff home. And he's like, well, this isn't working how I expected it.
Uh-oh.
But it was fun because it's like he kept seeing, the money I was making, the money I was bringing into the house. And then I tried to get him interested in eBay, and eBay's very abstracted in a way because it's like I know how much I can sell things for, but we didn't have access to Terapeak back then.
Oh.
So now we do, but I started selling on Amazon, and I put the Amazon app on his phone, and he went around and scanned every book in the house because it was very linear, very logical. It explained,
Yeah,
how often the book sells a year, and so the next thing I know, we're book dealers.
there you go. So you started off with books.
Well, yeah, we started off with stuff from our families,
Okay.
then stuff from garage sales. Then we added in Amazon with the books.
Okay.
And then he does all the Amazon, all the books.
Nice.
And
Nice.
yeah.
So how do you price your items?
So I have a great tool that I use. It's called List Perfectly.
Oh, yes. Ta-da!
Yeah,
Yes, list perfectly.
and what they've done is, so I create my listings in List Perfectly, and they have a Google Lens integration.
Yes.
So what happens is I'll click on that link, and it'll take me to Google Lens,
Mm-hmm.
and then it'll show me different comps. And sometimes it'll show me these things. I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize this item, had that kind of value to it. I'll see it on other platforms other than eBay, because, eBay can be very competitive pricing wise sometimes.
Sure.
So that's one of the ways I use List Perfectly. And then another way I check on prices for higher dollar items is I'll use eBay, and I'll look at Terapeak, which gives me 3 years now.
Sure.
And that has been a real game changer, because it used to be you can only look at solds for 3 months.
Right.
And the prices could change radically within that 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that could happen is maybe there wasn't an item quite like yours. So you may not see that the market is good to go, twice as much of a
Mm-hmm.
value on your item, or maybe 3 times as much, but Terapeak will show you that.
Okay.
And then if you really get stuck, then I use Google Images on its own, using different keywords. So
Yeah. Lots of options to help you pinpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know the Google Lens on List Perfectly has saved me so much time. It's like I can list faster because I can get that information quick. And then, unless it's a really hard to find item, then like you said, you have to do the Terapeak and do some deeper digging. But 99% of the time, I think it comes up. Do you find that works for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it is so fast. And one thing that I do is I will find somebody. It's usually like somebody that has really great keywords. If it's a new type item for me, I'll just copy all those keywords. Yep. And then I'll take it back to List Perfectly and pop them into my listing title. And, by the time I'm done, it's not even the same. But that's a huge time saver for me, is I can get those keywords. I've never thought about it like this. Getting those keywords means List Perfectly is giving me something else.
Yes.
That just dawned on me. It's given me this gift of having my items sell faster, because I can get the keywords that will activate that listing. Because, wow, cool. Yay.
Yeah, and especially if you're on Etsy, if you cross post to Etsy, you got to have, that's how you're found most in Etsy, is through the tags, the keywords.
Yeah.
So it's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great setup. So meanwhile, where do you go to source your items?
Well, I am still sourcing at garage sales.
Okay.
Rummage sales, because I can get a whole bunch of stuff at one time.
Uh-huh.
And then I do, occasionally I'll do estate sales, but it's a lot of waiting, and then you don't know what kind of prices they are when you get in there. I do really well at garage sales. New Jersey is this, well, I'm in New Jersey. New Jersey is this amazing place. They have town-wide garage sales, and you'll go, and these towns will have, maybe 100 garage sales for the weekend. You just drive around.
Yeah, follow the signs.
And then the other thing that's been happening a lot lately is I'm networked in with a lot of people. So I hand out my business cards to people. Oh. I have people who are perpetual garage sellers. They sell stuff for their friends or they sell stuff for their charities. So they'll contact me. Maybe they have a whole bunch of jewelry and they know I'll buy a huge volume of it. So they'll
Wow.
contact me on my phone and just let me know, hey, can you come by?
That's great. You have your own pickers.
Yeah, that's true. I do. Yeah.
That's
And I
great.
have, it's been really cool. And I have a friend who runs a brick and mortar store. He lets people know that I buy playbills. So I get calls that way. So I think
Nice.
just letting people know what you do.
Yeah.
Because
Great tip.
Yeah. It's really important because not everybody, we have a person who he does just records, but he doesn't deal with other stuff. So he
Sure.
might contact us with the other stuff. So
That's great. That's a good network you've built.
it really comes in handy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Saves you a lot of time. So I know that you have a YouTube channel. So please tell us how to find you on YouTube and when did you start your YouTube channel?
Well, it's been, we started a little over a year ago.
Okay.
Started in February of last year. And at first it was going to be 2 videos a week. One was like a haul video, and then the other one was like a how-to. But we really couldn't keep up with that. So we're just doing the jewelry hauls right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can find me. My business name is Picks by Nisha. So that's PICKSBYNISHA. So my first name. If you Google that, it will show up. I'm on a lot of different places, so that will show up my YouTube channel.
Yep. And for those on YouTube, the links are provided down below. All right. So as far as you using List Perfectly, what would you say is one of the pluses of using List Perfectly?
Well, it's really grown my business. So I haven't done my numbers for my first quarter, but my sales on Poshmark are up almost like 9 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. I kind of figured out how to get sales on Poshmark, and most of them are bundles. And and it's I think it's a combination of I have like almost 4,000 items listed there.
Okay.
And then the other thing is I have some things that are moderately priced, and then some things that are like discounted. And so I think that gets people excited, and then they'll put other stuff in there.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. So I just been making these huge bundles with people, and it's just been working out well. The other thing is I've been very conscious of the closet clear out. So when that comes through, set that up and get that going. And then I've been making sure I'm sharing all the time. It's kind of being more conscious of how Poshmark works.
Sure.
Yeah, because I've been on List Perfectly for 2 years, starting in May. List Perfectly is just this amazing thing because it's not just one single thing that really makes it an amazing company. I have to say it's just this combination of great people and their willingness to try new things and willingness to listen to you, and to have created this listing party where you can go and talk to other resellers. That really has been the greatest gift to me and my business because it's allowed me to think in new ways that I would never have been able to think of before.
That's true. And it's, all these years I've been on eBay, I'm in my little world, and you're alone in your little world, and you don't know if you're doing it right. There's nobody you can reach out to. And the community at List Perfectly is just amazing. It just embraces you, and there's so much action, like 24/7. Have you gone to the 24/7? Have you logged in the middle of the night or anything?
I haven't. I go to bed really early.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
I went in one night. I was up late, and I went in at 11, which was late for me. And I went in at 11 and I started to watch a YouTube channel, and I was like, wait, what am I doing while I'm listing? Let me go to listing party. So I went and logged in, and I was like, oh, hello, people. And it was it made it more fun to do your listings, to know you could talk to people and how's your listing going and what are you listing and how much would you list this for, and just having a conversation like that is really helpful, I think.
Yeah, it is. I go to mastermind every morning.
Yes.
So it's 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, in the morning. It's really early if you're on the West Coast, unfortunately.
Sure.
Yeah. It's run by Trish, Glenn, and there is a topic every day. But if you have a question or maybe something came up, you can just ask.
Yeah.
And there'll be like, I'm trying to remember what my question was. Doing return, no, not return, something on Poshmark. And I had like 3 solutions for that one problem.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah.
That's the power of mastermind. That Trish has done a really good job, I must say, with that listing party on List Perfectly. So mastermind, there's some people that join List Perfectly just so they can attend mastermind.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Okay. So what kind of items did you used to sell, but you don't sell anymore? Do tell. I'm afraid to ask.
Well, okay, I'll tell you one item. I bought a steamer trunk at a garage sale for $10, and I sold it on Craigslist. This is a really long time ago. I think for $100, but it took me and my husband to complete the whole process. And after that, my husband looked at me. He says, "If you can't pick it up by yourself,
don't sell it." Oh no.
Oh
No,
gosh.
that would have been a good YouTube video.
Yeah, you're right. It would have. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you're not allowed to sell anything you can't pick up.
Well, it used to be that way probably about 15 years ago. And then I started transitioning into smaller and smaller things because we have limited storage space.
Oh, okay.
And so I like jewelry. A friend of mine actually gave me some jewelry to sell on consignment. It was Cadoro jewelry, as vintage.
Nice.
And I only sold a handful of pieces, but I learned a lot from the process.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, my husband looked at it and he says, "This is really small. We could fit a lot of this in a small space." And he's right, because I have like 2,000 pieces on one rolly cart, like those metal rolly carts that are like 8 by 4 by 2 or something like that. And they're all in trays. I can show you one. So,
okay.
This has a number.
Tray. That's how you. And it's got a number on it. That's a scoop.
And so that's the number of the tray. And then on the inside,
there you go.
Yeah.
Everything's all lined up. Beautiful.
So, but
not much room at all.
No, not much.
You could go RVing.
Huh?
You could go RVing.
Yeah.
You could go on RVs and take your inventory.
So funny. Yeah, I could. And then I think that's right. I used to sell replacements for
replacements.com.
Oh, I have actually shipped stuff to them and didn't make any money.
Did you? Oh my gosh. So you've used replacements? You've like sent things to replacements.com?
Yeah.
Like dishes?
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of dishes, again, from the family. I think it was his grandparents. And so I shipped the dishes, and it really wasn't worth it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think on other items, maybe if they were worth more or if they didn't require so much packing, it might be worth it. You can actually make appointments with them and go in person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do you think you would have made more money if you would have sold them on eBay or Etsy? Or
I'm trying to remember. That's before I was selling on Etsy. Maybe I could have made more money on Etsy. I'm sure I could have made more money on Etsy because it has that audience on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think with eBay, everybody really wanted the items very inexpensively, and they wanted the shipping inexpensively. And I was shipping things with a lot of dundage in it to keep things from breaking. And not that I ever got any complaints, but
It's tedious.
yeah, I think people were like, oh, well, I think you can fit everything in a, I sold like 10 pieces, and they wanted me to fit everything into like a medium flat rate box or something like that. And I was like, whoa, okay, well, I'll do that. But it got there okay, but there
Oh,
wasn't a
good.
lot of room because, you
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
tight.
Yeah, that was really tight.
Okay, so what are some of your challenges as a reseller?
I think right now my biggest challenge is time.
Time.
So,
So you probably sell more in the summer, like you have more time without outside of teaching.
well, I think what happens in the summer is because I pick so much at garage sales, some of that time is going into the garage sales. So I do have more time. I think the biggest thing that happens with me in the summer is when I don't have to teach, it's like there's a release in my brain. It's like I don't have to keep all this information going in my brain every week
True.
to teach the classes, so I can just kind of let that go for 3 months, and I'm free to think of the projects that will expand my business.
Okay, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, do you find it challenging juggling because you're working full time?
I work I work part-time.
Okay.
It's one day a week. Well, it depends on my schedule changes a lot, so
Okay.
but it's just a challenge just to I'll get something ramped up, and then all of a sudden, oh, teaching day, and like, whoops, stop,
Yep.
start again, and then sometimes I'm like, okay, I try to create markers so I know where I'm at in my processes, but sometimes the markers, they're just like notes and stuff. I forget
Yep.
where I was or what I was doing or something like that.
It can be challenging. I mean, it's part of doing business. We all make mistakes. We all keep learning. We look for ways. I'm always looking for ways to simplify my life, make things a little easier. And I think we never stop growing and coming up with new directions and trying different things.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's, part of being business, having your own business.
So how long have you been selling on eBay?
So I applied for a selling account in 2003.
Oh, okay.
So it was somewhere around there because it was like I vaguely remember procrastinating trying to list on eBay because I'd never bought anything on eBay.
Oh,
It was totally new to me. And the first time I looked at eBay, my husband, he pulled up a listing for me and showed it to me. He explained it to me. And I just looked at it and I was just like, wow.
a lot.
Yeah,
A
I
lot.
was just like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot easier, right?
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. I know when you first look at it back in 2003, it was a lot more complicated. And then when it came up, I could just imagine you thought, oh, I got to go take a college course now, to learn how to use this platform marketplace. But you did it. So you are, like, I always call myself a jump in girl, but you are like the ultimate jump in girl because you jumped in without even shopping on eBay. You just you just went in and started selling stuff.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing. I usually advise people to do some shopping first, so
Oh,
to learn the platform a little bit, but you just went the whole hog. It just went
that's
started.
actually a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it helps.
Well, yeah, I do junk jewelry lots, and
Oh,
what I do is I just put them in a regular size box. I used to use priority boxes, but now that
Oh,
ground shipping is cheaper,
yeah.
I'm putting them in an eBay box,
Uh-huh.
which doesn't work if I sell them on a different platform. But
Yes,
so
you
I just
can. Okay.
drop
I
ship,
ship
some.
Poshmark and eBay material
Oh, do
all the
you?
time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
can
I
do
won't
that.
worry about it.
All my tissue paper is eBay. It says eBay. No matter which platform you're buying, you're getting eBay tissue paper.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So you
No,
streamlined it.
yeah,
Yeah.
just it is what it is. So, okay, let's see. So, what other items do you like to sell besides jewelry?
Oh, so I love to sell playbills.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Those are fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, where do you find those?
Well, lately they've been coming to the house.
Okay, your pickers are knocking at your door wanting to get paid. Oh my goodness. That is
It's
so
like
funny.
we buy them. We pay like I don't know if this is appropriate or not to talk about, but we pay 50 cents a piece unless there's
Yeah,
something special about them.
sure.
And
Good.
yeah, I have people contact me on Facebook, say they have playbills to sell. We're going to go in Manhattan and pick some up in 3 weeks. And yeah,
Wow.
so, but at the beginning when I first started it, oh, that's right. We went to a book sale and they had a whole bunch of playbills. And I thought, these are cool. I like theater.
Yeah,
So I grabbed them all. They were a great price. And then I started listing them. They started selling. I could list them really quickly, which was
sure.
another plus.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing that happened was I'd go onto Craigslist and people would have, bundles of them. And
Oh,
yeah. And so that was before Facebook Marketplace, I think.
mm-hmm.
And then we would go pick stuff up there. And during the pandemic, I got stuff from Facebook Marketplace. People had collections they were getting rid of. So I think being in, New Jersey, there's a lot of theater goers in
Sure.
this area. So yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
What a fun thing to sell too.
It is fun because it's like you get to keep learning about it. And
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. Another question I wanted to ask you is how do you keep track of your inventory?
I use several different SKU systems depending on what the item is. So
Okay.
books have their own numbering system, playbills have their own numbering system, and then the jewelry has their own numbering system. So,
Oh,
for example,
so it depends what you're selling how you number them. Depends. Okay.
yeah, these get tags with a number, a SKU number, and then a location number. Yeah, so
Okay.
it really depends on what the item is. And then it
Nice.
all used to go in eBay custom label, but now it goes into the SKU label on List Perfectly. And
Yes.
that's really great because you can actually search for it.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I know. It's like on eBay, it has that custom label field, but you can't search for anything on that, or at least when I used to try to do that, I couldn't
Yeah.
just search for a 5-digit number or something like that.
Yeah, you can, but it's challenging. You have to jump through hoops to get the settings, but I've learned that it's very challenging. And lately, my SKUs have disappeared from eBay. And so you might want to keep an eye on that because luckily they're in List Perfectly and I can go back and get them. But I noticed when I've sold a few items, the SKU would be gone and they just disappeared. And I know they were there. So another reason why List Perfectly, it's more than I know, I'm sure you've heard, or maybe you've experienced it, where your photos would disappear from eBay. And it's like, oh, thank goodness we have them all stored in LP and we can just, move them back in. But yeah, so keep an eye on your SKUs on eBay.
Danna, I'm so glad you told me that, because I thought I was just being lazy and not putting my SKUs in, because I had them in LP and then they weren't on eBay, and I just thought, oh, I don't know, oh, that's what's been going on.
Yeah. Yep. It's an eBay thing that, they call it the ghost of eBay. It just haunts us sometimes and takes our pictures and our SKUs. I don't know why. And sometimes your listings disappear. I had a friend that had cleaned out her closet and she was moving her inventory from one to the next, and she was going on eBay to double check or to move them to a different SKU or whatever, and they weren't there.
Oh, no.
None of them were there, and she had them in this closet forever, and eBay just decided to remove them, I guess, and didn't tell her. But I was like, well, if you had them on list perfectly, you wouldn't have to go and take pictures again. It would all be there for you. So, okay. So if people want to find you, they want to find your eBay store. Is it easy to find?
Yes. So it's Picks by Nisha is the name of my eBay store. And that's my name on Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy.
Okay. We could just Google it and find you.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
Okay, good. Yeah, so everybody can head over and follow you on Instagram. And I did notice, now that I'm thinking about it, your Instagram, I saw some beautiful jewelry pieces of photos on there. Your photos are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a combination of practice, learning how to take jewelry, and working with the lights, and then List Perfectly's background remover.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody wants to watch any videos on jewelry, check me out on YouTube.
Perfect. Yep. And I'll have all of that below. And if you're listening to the audio, just go over to YouTube and put in the Power Selling Podcast and Nisha's name, and you will find this video if you're listening on audio. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed this, and everybody go check her out online and learn a lot. I just love your wisdom on jewelry, and I appreciate you sharing that with the community. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for having me on your podcast.
Perfect. Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you, Nisha, for sharing your information with us today. And we have good news for everyone that's tuning in. Nisha also has a 30% off code for List Perfectly for the first 30 days. So just use the coupon code NISHA and you will receive 30% off the first month of List Perfectly. So check it out and join us at the next listing party with her, and you can participate and learn as well. So until next time, I'm Danna Crawford, the Power Selling Mom, and you're listening to the Power Selling Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome reselling day. Bye.